Why? It is looking rather tough as this Minas General's position is not going to be playable. A lot of all these teams struggling to even get through the blue.
All right, here we go. 17 teams remaining. Stage 2, BTR going up against Force Tribes. T2 for Falak down on the ground here. Same thing goes for IQ. BTR having a great time dominating this collision over here. Probably because they do have the better vantage point, I can say. But S11, oh, they need to be careful though. Okay, they're challenging Talon Esports. But then again, right behind them are the boys of E-Arena. So E-Arena could probably do a backstab up against the team. But let's see first what Langsung Red Force is going to do in this situation. Going up against Voin Donkey. We got XZY cooking up an 8 here, but completely missed a good 4. Now he's pretty exposed himself, but did a massive spray. Good 4 taking in a lot of damage, but that was such a missed opportunity for XZY to take him out. It's a good thing that TZ was able to follow through. So in this process, they also...
And yet, look at the rest of them. Talon's got to also worry about the rest of the teams that are over onto Minas, and you're getting tagged from a distance as well. Satar now going for the exchange as he managed to suppress a member out of Alpha 7.
All right, UI getting inside the building and was able to take a score right off the bat. Shields is doing the same thing with the DB as a UI. Man, confirmation coming through already out of the game here, but Fire was able to do a counter. Rebiosa blooding out there in the open. You got Shields and a Chul, a tandem. Talon Esports, well, still trying to get, or like find their way inside this building. Yumiko right now defending together with the rest of the boys of Sem9, and what a shot though. Sem9 continues to dominate, but there might be another challenger over here.
You can see that the rest of 4 Esports cannot afford to go in for the repeat. And Tate goes to number 4. He goes down. Oh, this is going to be pretty tough for the rest of the Savior. Walter K is making it heal. Not really finding it just yet, but it is just sufficient to take out both Lapart and Genfos.
Alright, Arena, let's see your move so far. Although 456 is already out of the game here, but 3 is still a solid number over here, and they could still probably take care of business. Turning K, what a move, what a shot! E-Arena still dominating with 6 points in the bag now. 11 teams remaining for stage 4, ladies and gents. GLU squad into the mix as well, but so far, you know, the rest of Sem9 is not coming into play just yet. Anzen got knocked down, however, by TZ. XZY is recuperating. Say Cloud shuts down Sky. We got Teens putting down Joker coming from E-Arena. Man, that was like a long shot.
Yeah, look at him back and forth right now. It is so little health left on Mela. He did actually get knocked by TZ towards the tail end, and now sending those nades downwards. That part Esports, can they find just about enough cover? And oh, Kobe! It's XZ landing it onto Onsens, and he quickly gets depleted with the second follow-up nade as
all the right things at the moment, but let's see if they can actually follow through. And as for Sleepy, okay, they are taking some points as well. 1T, again, shutting down Tourniquet, and this is the exchange that we don't want to miss. We got Beanie.
Could also be charged from multiple directions, while for Esports landing attacks across. Sleepy, he's barely having any cover, and the rest of Langsung Red Force is rushing upon him. Can he actually work? No! Attack's not quite enough, and now with a jump shot, we'll be able to secure it. And Langsung is dominating.
Palms are sweaty. Langsung Red Force made a phenomenal move up against Horror and Squad. I think they can already go and have an exchange again, you know, for the remaining teams here. Speaking of remaining teams, we only have 7 right now for stage number 6, and nobody wants to give up their spot, I guess. I mean, as long as you have that high ground, I think it will be easier for you to assume a lot of points, and that is exactly why NS Red Force and even Yangon Galacticas and even Vintoris, the last remaining player for Btr Esports, is not moving or not budging at all.
Tough call right now to make for a majority of all these players in the field, and we're looking at pretty much a spot where Vikings can actually spot out the rest of Phase 10, trying to make their way across Mamba. Desperate attempt, and that vehicle flip, and that caused a little bit of a stir, but Sam9 have been able to find a little bit of wiggle room. And even so, Woody's still on that boat. He's still got, like, what, 12 more up against you. Yeah, got Galacticos.
Vikings seems to be playing Hunger Games. It's so in the mood to use that explosive bow, but then again, perhaps he is training himself, you know, just so that he could be accurate and also, like, master that explosive bow. But anyway, it's a master class still coming from the side of Langsung Red Force. But what a retaliation though coming from Yangon Galactica, shutting down NS Red Force, and now Master Smile. There's a big chip on his shoulders because he still needs to take care of XZY, the last surviving member. But that was such a clutch, no doubt. You know, he was able to put down Beanie and TZ all at the same time.
Yeah, and now down to a few teams. Only one member of YG remaining, and that's going to be Smile. The champions of the PMCL will be a little worse for wear. You can say the same about Nongshim as well as VPE. So 3 solo targets up top. Dem9 haven't actually made their way across as well. MVKE, Lee sending T's and Tins over eventually. But I'm just surprised that none of these teams are kind of interested in taking the compound that was being held by those members of BTR for so long. And they're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. And now, BTR is just going to be sitting still until something happens, while Sem9 find himself at 5 points. Top 5 scenario, and we got that dramatic music, and even more dramatic for Master Smile. Where does he go from here on?
5 teams remaining, ladies and gents, for stage number 7. And yeah, BTR, they have the numbers over here, so perhaps, you know, this is the BTR that we know. They have been quiet during the first few rounds, but let's see if they can actually take this one home. 3 points in the bag currently for the biggest run by Vitality. And again, we don't even know, like, if Federalis is actually playing, but then again, they're still doing a phenomenal job here. And now they're about to go up against the boys of Sem9. Okay, so there's a little bit of pressure for Sem9 because they need to step into the zone. And for sure, BTR is going to make it challenging for them. They're going to make it difficult, that is for sure. So let's see if Sem9 will succeed or will they struggle.
Finding a lot of rhythm and now makes it into the top 3. Vikings also on the rampage, 10 points. This is what I've expected out of MVKE when they were playing from the south side, where all the other teams were definitely having some clear signs of struggle overall. And it seems like BTR, they've been so ready and they've been turtling for most part. Now comes the notion of Sem9. How exactly do they infiltrate? Perhaps they're just going to wait and see whether if maybe Vikings can chime in, but it's going to be Manparang that actually finds the rest of MVKE over the south side, and Yumiko already getting shot. Mika has to be super careful of that position. They're watching them like a hawk as well. BTR, they're knowing for the fact that these teams have force hands that they need to play out, and they're not going to be revealing their cards until these teams do.
This is still gonna get tough, you know, for the side of BTR. Even if they are, like, the team who has the best chance to score the chicken over here. But, like, the moment the circle really shrinks, they will have to eventually leave that compound. And, Viking Esports, while BTR is dealing business with Sem9, they're already getting into position over here. Just really anticipating, you know, what will happen next from the side of BTR. Here comes Bumblebee with an angry spray, shutting down Firin. Okay, Sem9 trying to still do an effective counter over here, but it is, again, a little tough on their side. Now, here comes Satar back on the screen here. Manparang goes down. And yeah, BTR just dominated that clash, and now it's time for them to deal business, this time with Vikings.
Yeah, it's going to be Ken right now, moving across just to get some of all these vision over onto members of MVKE. He spots 2, so this is going to be absolutely huge for Mr. Coach Ken. So Forget the rest. Vikings now wrapping around. Pins. Running outskirts. As much as they spot all these movements, they could not really participate for the moment. And that is always going to be a little bit of a tough call to make for the moment.
Yeah. So let's check it. Okay, this is going to be a 4v3 situation. Again, BTR, they have a compound over here, but since we're already running out of space, the only thing I can say for the side of Vikings is that they hold a better vantage point. So here comes the attack from BTR. Two of them already moved forward. There goes the clash. Bumblebee with effective shutdown was able to score that point, which is of course puts Vikings at a disadvantage. So let's see how Vikings gonna play this one out. Warranty still not holding, but here comes Kent. Already making a move. Oh no, I guess this is going to be BTR match.
BTR, they took their sweet time, and now it's their turn to shine. Look at how explosive that they are going, and they will make damn sure they will get it in return. And this is finally a chicken dinner for Indonesia.
Finally. Okay, with